Mr. 49 here, back with another commentary in Battlefield 3, and I have got some things to talk about here, especially with the fact that Aftermath is around the corner, and I am flying the little fat rhino, but I'll explain to you in a second why it's called the little fat rhino. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of you have seen that video where me and my buddy are using the little fat rhino and trying to take out enemies. But you're going to see some footage into this gameplay, but before I get into it, I think I need to show you guys something on Damavan Peak, and there's a specific reason why I'm playing on Damavan Peak. First of all, you're going to want to be the engineer, and the reason I like being the engineer on lots of maps is because you're very quick to shoot off your explosives. And yeah, you can call me an explosive whore like Jesus Christ, Doom, where are you going? But I will do it, and I will use those explosives just as a support would use the C4, and you're going to see it right here. Check this out. Get a guy with my SMA, throw a grenade on there because I know the heat is getting hot, and look at this, just as I get knifed, bam, 2 kills with the grenade, and pay attention to that, I get the MCOM after arming it. So that's the beauty of why I like being the engineer, and generally not so much the support, because I find that I get tied up with the C4 in my hand, and I end up looking at the enemy and just staring at him like, derp, I can't really do much with this C4. So really, in a tight situation, I'd rather be able to be the engineer and take off a lot of rockets and explosives at the enemy from a distance and get those MCOMs. Now, I do have a lot to talk to you about the Little Bird since I've been practicing a lot with it since Aftermath is around the corner, but I think there is something great that you need to see about using the Little Bird.
That's right there.
Yep, and see that now, that right there is why it's called the little fat rhino, because for some odd reason, and look at this, you're gonna see it right here as well, for some odd reason, it is the heaviest helicopter in the game. Even the freaking Cobra, or the goddamn Diddly-Dun-Dun, is not as heavy as this damn thing. I'm serious. You ever just try to fly with this thing and hold your accelerate, but the damn thing takes forever to get up off the ground, whereas if you hold your decelerate, it will hit the ground faster than anything? And that's what just happened to me in that Sharky Peninsula village. I saw a rocket coming my way. I tried to dodge it, but apparently tapping your decelerate will throw you to the ground faster than a rock. Unbelievably fast, whereas your accelerate will not even be able to save you. And yeah, you can say, don't gravity be good at physics, please. But in relation to the Viper, it really is a little fat rhino. It should be able to get up off the ground easier than that. And I think the best way to be able to balance this is possibly make the Little Bird's bullets do a little bit more damage. Now, really talking about Damavan Peak and using the Z11, being on this side over here where I'm at on the mountains is the most optimal spot. A lot of people say it's useless on the map because it is a hard to use vehicle, but the other thing about it is you just need to be able to place your vehicles in a good spot, as I'm doing right there. And yeah, I do get a little bit annoyed and I start going in trying to get some, and there they are taking shots off at me, and I am using my ECM jammer to get those shots off. Using flares or ECM jammer really doesn't matter as long as you can get out of the way, because they will both get those rockets or shots off away from you. Now, the only downside about flying these things is if you really want to take out the enemy, you need to be close to the ground, and practically anything and everything can take you out. Especially even players on the ground, they can shoot you right out. So you got to really be careful about that and maneuver a lot. Now, like I said, Aftermath is around the corner, so that is why I'm using this thing a lot more than I would usually. And Aftermath is around the corner for us PC guys. There's going to be some Z11 and Little Bird action going on, so I'd like to be able to fly around with those things and be able to try to take out a lot of enemies, but you do have to be careful about where you're maneuvering to and know how to fly the damn thing. And just remember, you tap your decelerate and you will plummet to the ground like a rock. Now at this point, I got a little bit frustrated of all the lock-ons that were happening, and I decided to go in there. And yes, once you're disabled, there is no hope for you because you are going out. Now, let's talk about being the engineer and playing it on, again, the rush side where you're attacking. But one of the things you want to do is always clear your area before you go for the MCOM. A lot of people get distracted and they're like, holy shit, I'm so close to that MCOM, where they just try to plant it, but fail to realize that there's enemies all around them. And the best way to know that is look at your minimap. But at the same time, when you get to a situation like this, look at my little in the bottom left in my squad mates. And yeah, I'm doubled up on suppression, but if you notice, they're dead. And I wait for them to spawn on me and let somebody else grab the MCOM. Now that is a smart way of playing it. And yeah, I know we're doubled up on suppression. Doom, double the suppression means double the Vaseline on the enemy screen. And that is absolutely correct. Now, let's get back into this. And I know I'm not flying the Z11 anymore. And by the way, the Z11 flies exactly the same to the Little Bird. So flying either or and practicing with either one, you'll be pretty freaking good at it if you practice hard enough. Now, I still have a little bit more practicing to do with those things before the PC guys get their taste of Aftermath. But the next commentary you guys will see of me is on Aftermath, and it's pretty much around the corner, so I'll see you guys around there.